Hello and welcome to another episode of Excel Learning Tutorial with Syed. In this episode, we will look for a specific data in a given data set and return the values from the left hand side upon successful match. Typically, when working with VLOOKUPs, it will only return values from the right hand side column. For example, if my lookup values are in column D, it can return anything inside column D or E or F. So starting from the same column, it can move towards the right hand side. But if I have to return something from the left hand side of my data set, I cannot do that using VLOOKUP. In such cases, we can use XLOOKUP function. However, if you're using an older version of Excel, you may not have access to that function. In situations like this, you can use a combination of index and match function to get the job done. Let me show you how. Before we move any further, I request you to download a working copy of this workbook using the link in the video description. In this workbook, I have 3 sheets. The first one is See It. This is where I will demonstrate. Then we have a Do It sheet. This is where you can practice. Finally, we have Data sheet that will be used for lookups. So let me go to See It sheet. I will first try to find the position of this value in this data set, that is, in which row that ID is located using the match function. Once I have that, I will know on which row this ID is located. I can use that inside the index function in row num argument. Let me show you how it works exactly. I will now begin in cell B2, type in match, look up for this value in this data set under column D. Look for the exact value, so 0, close the bracket, press enter. I now have the position of that ID from this data set. So I know it is in row number 4. So I can drag this down to find the positions of these IDs also. Once I have that, I will start the index function in cell C2. Index. Where is the data the index should look for? So I want index to look for data inside this data sheet under column C, because that is where I want my values to be returned from, comma. Now I need to pass the row number. For row number, I can pass this value that I found using the match function, comma. I am looking only in one column, so I will just enter number 1. Close bracket and press enter. There we go. Now, what exactly is happening here? Let me tell you. The index function is trying to look for the data in the data sheet under column C only. And once the position, that is this position, is found in that column, whatever is there in that position, for example, in our data set in the cell 4, that is C4, that is the position 4, whatever is there on the position 4 will be returned. Now if I drag this down in the cell 6, that is the 6th position here in column C, we have George. It will return George ID. If I drag this further down, you can see in the row 11 we have Robert, so that will be returned. Similarly, other values will be returned when you drag this down. So this is how the index function is trying to fetch the data using the position values that we are providing with the help of the match function. Now I will copy this match function from cell B2 to remove the dependency from that one, and I will just remove the row number part from my index function in column C2 and place the match function in there so that it can get the match function on the fly without needing to depend on column B. Then number 1, close the bracket, press enter. This is now going to fetch the values from those specific positions in this data set. So this is how we can use a combination of index and match function to get the job done and get the lookup values from the left hand side of your lookup data column. I want you to go into the Do It sheet and practice as much as you can. Try to fetch the full name, start date, try a combination of different things. Practice as much as you can. The more you practice, the more you will retain. In the next episode, we will explore more dimensions of Excel. If you haven't already, please click on subscribe and click that little bell icon to enable notifications. Thank you and have a very lovely day. See you soon.